by the Red 5 Network. For more, visit red5.bio.link. Good morning, guys. Good morning, my little nerdlings. How are you today? I'm good. Antsy to talk about some of the stuff I found. Really antsy. Like, I really just want to rip someone to shreds. But before we do anything, I need everyone to yell at Tabitha and tell her take a break. She works too hard. She's going to ruin that beautiful complexion she has if she's just going as ham as she's been. Good morning, Nerdling Army. Good morning. I missed you. I hope you missed me too. It's our Tuesday edition of our daily dose of dork. I hope you guys slept well. I hope you have some good coffee in hand. We've got Music City Soul. What's up? We've got Maria Graciela Sayas. Good morning. And Fernando. Good morning. I feel like, what was that show? Romper Room. Who's a doobie? CEO Star Wars. Good morning, Penny. Good morning. The creative blue collar guy. Good morning, my friend. Great stream last night. I love Alice in Chains. There's Tabitha. Tabitha, take a break. I love you. Take a break. Good morning, Backyard TARDIS. Hello. Everyone's telling her to take a break. I friggin' love it. I love it. She works so hard. She is the hardest working lady on YouTube, I swear. Despite anything she may tell you otherwise, she is always there supporting everyone. Oh my gosh. Guys, chat, we need to talk. We've got so much going on. But before we dive into it, do me a huge solid. Please and thank you. Help support the channel. Please help support the channel. And the best way to do that is the easiest and the freest way possible. It's so stinking easy. All you have to do is smash that like button, give me a big fat thumbs up down there below, subscribe if you, and ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with even more nerdy tea. There's other ways to support the channel. We'll talk about that later. But if you're interested now, you can scan that QR code or check the links in the description below. What's up? Okay, guys. We need to talk. Now, we have some amuse-bouche, some aperitif before we get into our meat and potatoes topic today. So I'll try to run through them as quickly as possible. As best as possible, I should say, because we really need to talk about Anthony Mackie. Like, that's all I can think about. So I'm going to try to get through this. First and foremost, Alex Kurtzman has given an interview about Section 31 on the evolution of it. I haven't read it yet because honestly, I'm a little afeared what he's got to say. Because look, I love creatives. You guys know this. I love the people that work behind the scenes to create these wonderful, magical, imaginative TV shows and movies that entertain us and distract us from reality. I love talking to those people so much, and I appreciate them more than I can possibly say. I really do, and I love picking their brains. But Dave Blast tweeted out, because a lot of people are pretty insulted by how bad Section 31 was. Like, it's got a really low score across, like critic lists, Rotten Tomatoes, Popcorn Flicks, like everything. It's not doing well, and for good reason. It was like, what in the rebel moon am I watching? This is not any good. But Dave Blast, one of the foremost production designers for Trek, was like, a lot of people worked really hard on this. A lot of people worked really hard. It was one of the few projects that we could work on during the strike. A lot of people worked hard on it. I get that, and that's wonderful. A job is a job. You got to pay bills. You got kids to feed. all that stuff. But I mean, we've all worked on jobs that were not that great. And we know, okay, this did not go well. And let me tell you something. Crew knows when they've got a stinker on their hands. Like they know when this isn't going well. So I don't know how to say, like, look, we appreciate that they worked hard, okay? That's not the issue. But this is a business and that is a product. And you are expecting us to pay money for a product that isn't up to par. When I owned a salon, when I was doing hair, if I gave everyone shitty haircuts and still expected them to pay me $25 in tip, that would be ridiculous. I wouldn't have stayed in business for 20 years. Okay. I wouldn't have stayed doing hair for that long if I was consistently putting out awful product and still pretty pert about being paid. Well, I worked really hard on it. Yeah, but I still have to walk around with this shitty haircut until it grows out. Like, okay, it's still a business. It's still a product. Hey Loki, what's up? I read that as he's learned ruining Trek. All right, well let's see what he has to say so we can move on to our other stuff. So this is trekmovie.com. And they got to talk to him, ask him some questions. So fans have been worried about Section 31. They just came right out and said it. He said, "Yeah, I know." What would you say what would you say is the Star Trek of it all that would reassure them? What? So what would you say is the Star Trek of it all that would reassure them? Listen, trekmovie.com. That is a weird word salad of a sentence right there. That is just a mess. And he gave a book in response, so you know that can't be good. Here's what I would say, Alex Kurtzman says. I think that first and foremost, as a fan, and as many fans have spoken to, I think you tend to find Star Trek because you feel somehow like you don't fit in, right? That what? You're not getting to it. Okay. And Star Trek becomes a safe place that tells you it's okay to be different. It's okay to be a misfit. I mean, kinda, but not really. And this is a movie about misfits, right? He's every sentence in this paragraph so far, he's asking for validation. He's asking for reassurance at the end of every sentence. Right? Right? Tell me I'm right. And so in a way, I think reinforcing one of those things that is elemental about Star Trek. There was nothing Star Trek about that movie. I mean, not really. Maybe a couple aliens. There were deep cuts, but the other thing I would say is that Section 31 asks this really interesting question. It asks nothing. I'm here to tell you it asks nothing. Because Trek has always been a mirror that holds itself up to the moment, right? Asking for more validation. It's not really about the future. It's about allegorical stories that are about what we're dealing with now. And in that way, we're asking ourselves, why do we have to be in order to be what? Why do we have to be in order to protect our freedoms? Oh, is that who? Oh my God, I need new glasses already. Who do we have to be in order to protect our freedoms? Who do we have that? Who do we have and what has to be done in order to protect our freedoms? And where is that gray area? Okay, I'm not reading anymore because it's nonsense. It's 1000% nonsense. He's not reassuring anyone of anything. There's nothing Star Trek in this movie. It should not have been made. It's a mess from beginning to end. It asks no questions. It doesn't even know what it wants to say. It has nothing to say. It has Michelle Yeoh. There you go. That's Section 31. Backyard TARDIS. Yes, Terry Matalas directs Star Trek is what he should have learned. Oh my God, hard agree. That's why I posted that meme, like me calling Terry Matalas, like, where's like me calling Terry Matalas, like, Dad, can you come home? Look what they did. Dad, please, can you please? I know you're over at Disney. Can you please come home? Yeah. Yeah, he's in those golden handcuffs, though, guys. That's going to take an act of God to get him out of that at this point. But it was an absolute insult. Hello, Crusher Combo. What's up? Hey, Science Fictionary. What's up, y'all? Oh, Steven Reacts 2 says he just ruined Captain America. Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Creative blue collar guy says I picture it with a right. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Yep. I got you. I read you. This guy is like if Rian Johnson was put in charge of Star Wars. This is what it would exactly. I'm not even finishing the article. We already know everything we need to know. He knows it's trash, and he has no real answer. So he's just like, so Star Trek is just like this thing, you know. It's like talking to some ditzy Gen Z kid who can't read or write in cursive. Like, it's like this whole thing, we didn't want it to be Sigma, right? No cap. Just awful. No, Alex Kurtzman, we need you out of Star Trek at this point. This is just, if you cannot see that this was like 90s level, it reminded me of the RPG games, the RPG Star Trek games from the 90s on PC. Like, I hope someone, please God, someone in the chat know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the exposition in the very beginning, like, okay, here's your mission. It was straight out of a friggin' video game and with graphics to boot. What up, Geek Daddy? What's up? Untamed Mando. Yeah, every time you pop in, we're talking track. It's a skibbity toilet. Omari, what's up? So then where does Star Trek go from here? It's just two worlds, basically. We've got Strange New Worlds, and that's kind of it. Which is, I mean, fine with me. Strange New Worlds is a good show. It is Star Trek. Anson Mount is smoking hot. And so is Chapel. And I'm fine with that. Usually we only have one Star Trek show at a time. Why? That I'm fine with that. Let's just stick with that for now. Okay? Until an act of God releases Terry Metalis from his golden handcuffs over at the Mouse, and he can come back and rescue us again. I mean, hello. Is doing a Harry Potter style show. That's right. Starfleet Academy. Robert Picardo is going to be in that. So holding my breath. Yeah, holding my breath on that one. I really hope it's not Section 31, because we do know someone who is in it. Old Dave Jones, who he was in Trap. He was also in Strange New Worlds last season, and he was just so excited. God bless him. I'd be excited too. I mean, if I was in a Star Trek, that's all I would talk about. And he privately asked me what I thought. I said, please don't ask me to tell you that. And he says, no, what did you think? I said, my friend, you have the dubious honor of being in the Star Trek movie that dethroned Insurrection as the worst Star Trek movie of all time. Like, poor guy. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. Okay, let's get into some casting rumors, because I really want to hop to Mr. Mackie. So here's a casting rumor, and as always, please take all of this with very small grain of salt. Hey there. All right. Well, you take care. Thank you so much for popping by. I really appreciate it. I really do. I get really happy when people pop by. Yes, Robert Picardo is a good actor. Okay, so here we have this rumor. Marvel Studios is rumored to be eyeing Samara Weaving to play the iconic role of Emma Frost in an upcoming MCU film. They are working on the X-Men cast list as we speak, and you're going to be surprised by some of the things that they're casting. Maybe a little. Yes, Insurrection was not good. But hey, guess what? It's no longer the worst Star Trek movie. Okay, so the only thing I think I've actually seen her in that I remember is the last Bill and Ted movie that really just felt unnecessary. God bless them. Uh yeah, that's the only thing I think I really remember seeing her in. I don't really like I know she's in some horror stuff, but that's not really my bag, baby. So, I don't know, what do you guys think? W or L? What do we think? Let's hear it in the chat. Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. What do we think about that? Let me know. Do 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 while I take a drink of my water and wait. Okay. Well, doesn't seem that anyone has any strong opinions on it. We will move on. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. This one. Speaking of X-Men, the Russo brothers have reportedly signed a new deal with Marvel Studios to lead multiple new projects, including the X-Men storyline. Yeah, X-Men still a little bit of ways. Hit the like! Like she said, hit the like. Fernando says, I love to hear Emma Frost is going to be a part of the... I love Emma Frost. I think she's a very powerful character, very interesting, very interesting. Looking forward to it. Oh, yeah. Might be a good decision. Like I said, I've only seen her in the one thing, and she played, was, I don't know, one of their daughters. She played one of Bill and Ted's daughters. Wait, I thought Into Darkness was the worst. Nope. Is Insurrection. I'm the expert, and I'm telling you. Didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean. It's Insurrection is, if you took a poll, it would come out as worse until Section 31 came along. So Russo brothers, I am good with having the Russo brothers stick around. I mean, they didn't let us down with the first phase with with Infinity War and Endgame. They did great. Omari says, I like the Russos, but I'd want someone fresh for X-Men, like Matthew Vaughn was for X-Men First Class. I don't mind the Russos. I think they've done well in the past, and we're actually kind of starved in the comic book movie successful director department. We don't have too many of them that have done so well and proven themselves in this genre. We have the Russos, Sean Levy, John Watts, whether you like him or not, James Gunn, whether you like him or not as a human. James Gunn, he's made successful movies. He's made the general audience care about deep cuts that even nerds really didn't care about. So there's not too many to pick from that would actually do well. And they need the writers. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But Omari was saying I like the Roos, but I want some. Okay, I already said that. Maybe I was going for Fernando. I apologize. Fernando. The Russos, excellent decision. I'm right there with you. Maybe they'll say Marv, you don't know. Sam Raimi. Yeah, I like Sam Raimi, but he's kind of an acquired taste in a sense. His style, his editing style, his directing style, all of it is so very specific and unique that Multiverse of Madness really divided the fan base because you've got a lot of younger people that are going to watch these movies, and the younger kids haven't really seen Sam Raimi movies, so it was almost like a shock to them. Like, what is happening? I don't understand this. That's my opinion on that. Yep, I'm kind of there with you. Keep them around. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shouldn't have got rid of him in the first place. Not going to mention the canceled elephant in the room. Right. All right. Moving on. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Spider-Man 4 will reportedly introduce a new love interest for Tom Holland's Peter Parker. This comes from Daniel RPK. And that love interest, I don't know if I got this. Let me pull her up really quick. Emma Myers, I've heard, is who they're looking at to play this new love interest. And the new love interest is Gwen Stacy. That's what I'm hearing. I don't think I have a doohickey on that. I meant to. I've got so many doohickeys. You have no idea the amount of doohickeys in my thingamabob right now. But yeah, I'm hearing it's the girl from Wednesday who played Enid, Emma Myers. They're circling her for Gwen Stacy. Thoughts? I think she could probably pull it off. It better Mary Jane Watson. I'm hearing Gwen Stacy, Geek Daddy. I think they hate MJ because they feel like she's been done to death and they're trying to do something different and new and subvert expectations. I think he's legally obligated to have Zendaya in all his movies. Yeah, it's got to be in a contract somewhere. Exactly. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I've been pretty impressed with the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, it's 100% the Spider-Verse movies. I think they want to do Gwenpool. I would love to have Black Cat too. And there are rumors that Anya Joy, her. She used to be Anna, now she's Anya. I've heard whispers that they've tried to talk to her about Black Cat. So we shall see. What is this one? What is this thing? Oh. All right. Moving on. Where are we at here? So y'all know how I feel about Grandoff. This woman never ceases to disappoint in the batshit crazy things that she says. Not once. From Super Mario Brothers being terrible to Borderlands being amazing to Shadow and Sonic 3 having an inappropriate relationship with a little girl. Dumbass. To this. Okay, so this is kind of driving me crazy. The 30-second teaser we watched yesterday of the James Gunn Superman movie. People are going bonkers over it. I just don't understand why. I don't think it's that serious, man. I don't. I think people look for things to bitch about. Period. Grace Randolph, the credit to our sex that she is. I'm going to try to do my best Grace Randolph voice. This is an interesting shot spoiled by a weird CGI face that doesn't look like corn sweat. I hope they fix that. Hashtag Superman. Well, immediately, James Gunn says, there's absolutely zero CG in his face. People's faces can look different when you put a wide angle lens up close. The background plate in Svalbard is 100% real, as is David. Oh, Grace. You dipshit. Oh, I find her grating. Someone made a compilation of her saying, "Well, well, well," over and over again. I'm like, that's why people don't watch me. They sound and act like her. Because I'm another lady who talks about comic book movies. Awesome. That explains everything. I find her just grating. And I think she does it on purpose. And that's what's most grating of all. Absolutely zero CG on his face. People's faces look different. You can't tell that's a wide angle lens, Grace. Weird CGI. She doesn't even know what she's looking at. She thought Borderlands was the most fun movie of the year. She watched Sonic 3 and saw the heartwarming scenes of Shadow with Robotnik's granddaughter becoming friends and teaching him about friendship and family, and she turned that into some twisted, sexualized thing. Chick, go home. Go home. You have no idea what you are talking about. You please stop. Wait. She popped in for a minute, gave me a shout out today too. Love what? Was what? Who are you talking about? Me or Grace Randolph? What am I missing? What am I missing in the comments? I'm so lost. But yeah, this is one of her worst takes ever. Grace strikes me as someone who either thinks too hard or not hard enough. Grace strikes me as someone who says whatever someone else pays her to say. Grace strikes me as a person who has zero integrity and only says what other people want her to say. There you go. Oh, ha 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 ha. Happens to me all the time. You have no idea. That's okay. So, yeah. She makes me look bad just because I'm a girl who talks about comic book movies. She just concerns me. Really does. So very much. Okay, so let's move on. All right, this one. My time to shine. Hello. Who's not always right? Remember, these are rumors. Anytime we talk about casting rumors, they are rumors. And you should take them very, very lightly and not very seriously at all. Henry Cavill in talks with Lucasfilm for a Star Wars role. Look, I love Henry Cavill. Not only do I think he's a good actor, I think he's just a genuine dude. And he does remind me of my brother. He just seems like a genuine dude. So I do like him. I love that he's a mega nerd. I do. One of us. He's one of us. He's living his best life. He's doing live action Voltron, his Warhammer series, which he's a fanatic of. That would be like me getting to do a Star Trek or a Wonder Woman. That would be incredible. I love this. Omari. For a few months, Cavill is in talks for every franchise except the one that matters, Fast and Furious. Okay, how dare you? That's offensive because I don't care about Fast and Furious. That's the other member of my household. But no, I feel like he is the best candidate for Bond. I would love to see him as Bond. So let's get him in Bond. But Star Wars, do we need I just don't feel like that's the right fit for Henry Cavill, and I think Henry Cavill would know that. I don't Backyard TARDIS. What's happening in the chat here? Backyard TARDIS. Now, if they run out stories and do a Sonic 6 movie, then Grace will probably love Sonic and Princess Elise. Henry Cavill in a Voltron and Star Wars movie would be hot. Really? See, I just don't see him in Star Wars. But maybe it's because I'm OG Star Wars. And Star Wars was always little known faces, little known actors. They didn't want to, one, they didn't have any money, so they couldn't afford big actors, but also they didn't want big recognizable actors to distract from whatever story they were telling. And pulling these big names into Star Wars, like the discussion around Ryan Gosling and now Henry Cavill, it feels gimmicky to me. Like they know they've lost us with stuff like Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Acolyte. They know they lost us. The stuff we're hearing about this Rey movie and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, they're not really exactly blowing our skirts up and getting us all excited. So talking about people like Ryan Gosling and Henry Cavill in a Star Wars feels gimmicky to me. It feels like they're desperate and trying to get our attention. Tabitha is tired of Henry Cavill. I just want Henry Cavill to be left alone and do what he loves. He loved The Witcher, and they made fun of him and they bullied him. Like, can you imagine bullying Henry Cavill? Can you imagine the balls? Fernando, Star Wars getting Ryan Gosling would be excellent for the franchise. But there's talk about other things. Other things for the Gauze. Actually, let's see. What do we got here? What was that? Oh, Robert Patrick is excited to see Superman. So, Marvel Studios will reportedly introduce Ghost Rider in Avengers Doomsday with a big role. And this comes from the Apocalypse Horseman. Apocalypse Horseman is a new scooper that's actually been pretty legit lately. Yeah, Tabitha agrees. Exactly. Name dropping in a Star Wars is such a gimmick. It is. It's like, oh, look at him. They're trying so hard in the wrong way. But we are hearing again, as my original thumbnail shows, that was my original meat and potatoes topic, was Ghost Rider. Ryan Gosling. They have been talking about this for years. For years, they have been circling Ryan Gosling for Ghost Rider. I'm telling you, that's who he's going to play. It's going to be Johnny Blaze. It's going to be Johnny Blaze, and it's going to be Ryan Gosling. Yes, Ghost Rider will be in Doomsday, and it's going to be Ryan Gosling. Tired big name Marvel people too. Give someone else's career a chance. Absolutely agree. I feel the same way about big time actors, like huge bajillionaire A-listers in Marvel stuff. Is how I kind of feel about them starting YouTube channels. It feels unfair to everyone else. Like you get a big time actor, starts a YouTube channel. They're monetized within 20 minutes. Like they're automatically monetized. They've got them competing against us using the same rules. But do you know what I mean? Like it seems like an unfair advantage. It seems like a huge unfair advantage. And I don't think it's fair to everyone else. Good morning, Truth. Good morning. Yes, I have my coffee, but I have to have my water too. I get so dehydrated so easy. Yeah. It's going to be Ryan Gosling. Bookmark it. I've even got some artwork. If I can find it. Screw it. We'll move on. Because there's other stuff we got to talk about. There's just literally so much. What do we got here? We've already seen that. Tris Purna Do I attempt to say her last name and embarrass myself some more? Purna Jagannathan? Sorry. The DCU's Lantern script is the best sci-fi script she's ever read. Test filming officially begins this week. That comes from Collider.com. How many sci-fi scripts has she read? Let's find out. 1, 2. Sorry. Let's see. Let's see. I see maybe 1. Maybe, possibly 1 sci-fi movie that she is in. Okay, that's maybe 2. So that might not be saying a whole lot. Yes. And yet many of them burn out on YouTube. Because they don't know how to do it. They just show up, get all the monetization, while the rest of us have just been busting our humps for years. Yeah, she says it's the best sci-fi script she's ever read, and the test filming begins this week. But again, I don't think she's really been in a sci-fi. Maybe 1. I couldn't really tell by the posters. So take that as you will. This woman says that Lanterns is amazing. We've seen that. This remember James Gunn? See, the Superman thing, it's really bothering me because people have been really making fun of David Cornsweat's face, making him googly eyes, because apparently either it's the wide angle lens that makes it look that way, or he's actually born with a lazy eye. Either way, you're trash if that's what you're making fun of. The fact that he might possibly have a lazy eye. First of all, everyone's eyes are 2 different shapes. They're slightly different shapes. One's slightly smaller than the other. That's just facts. That's science. They're sisters, not twins. And maybe because of my status as disabled, I take it a little to heart when people make fun of other people for the way that they were born, things that they cannot change. I think that's just a trash take. But this shot is one of the shots that James Gunn said he was inspired by Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. And I had the clip for it. I thought I did. Whoops. Maybe I don't. But it lines up pretty well. It does. Blu-ray Angel guy is a dork. Yeah. Sometimes I like dorks, though. Okay. So here's some casting rumor. No, she didn't. Backyard TARDIS. The Collider didn't read it. The actress that Collider was interviewing, she's in Lanterns, and she says it's the best sci-fi script she's read. These people just want to sabotage the movie before it's not going to work. And I want to get into that. Let's get into that a little bit. This is the most scrutinized movie I've seen in a very long time. And the movie's not even out. It's still 6 months from being out. So scrutinized. All movies should be scrutinized, absolutely. We should quality control product. Absolutely. We are paying money for it. They want us to pay money for it, so it better be good product, right? But some of the issues that I am seeing with this movie online are some of the most made up, petty bullshit I've ever seen in my life. And the only reason why it's getting the criticism that it is getting is because that it is James Gunn at the helm and not Zack Snyder. And that's sad. That's pathetic. That's really pathetic. I don't know how to tell you guys this, but directors, actors, they all move on. They're mad that this isn't Henry Cavill. They're mad that this isn't Zack Snyder. Henry Cavill is getting older. Okay, he's getting older. He has other things that he wants to work on. you wanted other fans to give Henry Cavill a chance when he was first cast as Superman. A lot of what I'm seeing online with this back and forth hate over Zack Snyder or James Gunn universes, it's overcorrection on both sides. You're big mad because you feel like these people didn't treat your fandom fairly enough. So when their fandom comes out, whether it's good or not, you're going to treat them horribly too. But is that where you want to be when Jesus comes? Picking on little Joe Dirt? Is that what you want? No, you have to show people how you want to be treated. And how you do that is you show them how you want to be treated. And if you're constantly shitting on people and being a petty a-hole just because you didn't get your way, then that's how they're going to treat you. Oh my God. Like, how is that? It's some of the most childish stuff. Like, this is stuff we learned in kindergarten, people. This is stuff we learned in kindergarten. You show people how you want to be treated. You are overcorrecting, and we're just going to keep going back and forth forever infinitum. There's no reason behind it. You're not going to win anything with reason and logic, so they immediately come out with personal attacks and petty behavior. Truth says, you're trying to reason with the Snyder. Oh, I'm not going to say that. You can't reason with them. Trust me, I tried. There's no reason with anyone who is like that. I've won an argument online before with logic and reason, and I had to check my pulse. Like, I thought it was, having a stroke. I couldn't believe it happened. But people have gotten so used to saying whatever they want behind a screen where no one can reach over, and that they've gotten comfortable thinking that's normal behavior. And it is not. It is not normal, decent behavior. You shouldn't do that. You absolutely shouldn't. I dare you to say that to somebody's face in person. Like, I dare you. Good morning, Carlos. Good morning. I'm just going to scream good morning every time someone says good morning. But yeah, give peace a chance, y'all. Be decent human beings. And stop making judgments on things you haven't even seen yet. Like, that's insane behavior. It's insane behavior. We're just overcorrecting every single time, every direction. You got to stop. You just got to stop. Okay. We'll do this one more, and then we got to get into it. We got to get into our meat and potatoes because there's a lot. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, there's no Agatha All Along season 2. We knew that. Everyone's like, oh my God. No, it was never meant to be that way. It's a trilogy. The next part is Vision Quest. Could you imagine Spock trying to debate on Twitter? That would make him freak out. I think he would lose his Vulcan restraint. Okay, so Retro Actual is saying that according to My Time to Shine Hello, these are the actors Marvel Studios is considering as the new T'Challa. Aaron Pierre, John David Washington, and Kelvin Harris Jr. I'm going to tell you right now, no, this is not true. Aaron Pierre is not in talks to be the new T'Challa because he's already Jon Stewart. If you think for a second that DC actors and MCU actors are going to be allowed to cross franchises, you're wrong. Because for the first time ever, they're actually competing with each other. They're not going to allow for that. So I'm going to say the Aaron Pierre thing is total BS. That's not happening whatsoever. My vote, Isaiah David Washington. That's my vote. Or John David Washington. I don't know why I said that. Because of Patriot. But John David Washington, that is my vote. There you go. Also, this dude. Now, I have asked this dude 600 times to cite his source, and he's absolutely refusing to give it. He just ignored it whatsoever. Like, he'll take 2 seconds and be like, you're so pretty. Like, stop. That doesn't work. If you have an idiotic take, I'm going to flat out tell you, I don't care how pretty you tell me I am. You're still a moron. And then that causes me pause. Like, oh my God, am I not pretty then? Because this guy's really dumb. But anyway, he's posted this rumor. Former Teen Titans actor Brenton Thwaites is set to be cast as Cyclops. He has no source. He has zero source. And yet people like Austin Medeiros is sharing it, saying, oh my God, this is happening. It's Cinehouse, for Christ's sake. It's Cinehouse. Mando, that was after Green Lantern, was canned. Hey, here we go. It's funny, all these names were rumored for Kang at one point. True. Exactly. Shake my damn head. I don't trust a word this guy says. All he does is fart on the DCU now. Oh, and it's really dumb. Like, really, like, I call him out all the time. It's one of the best parts of my day. Okay, so let's dive into what we're all really here to talk about. Okay. I am so unbelievably disappointed and angry at the comments that Anthony Mackie has made. I went through and found the clip. It's at the Rome premiere of Captain America Brave New World, and he does a panel. He fields some questions. And when I first heard the comments, I was like, Lord Jesus, please help. This cannot be true. This cannot be true. There's got to be more context to it. There's got to be like this. That can't be what he has said. This has to be taken out of context. Even though it'd be really hard. It'd be really hard to make these comments make sense. So we will start with, well, dagnabbit. We will start with this, and then we'll watch the clip together and make those judgments for ourselves. So here's the gist. While at the premiere, Captain America Brave New World, he did a panel afterwards, or before. I think it was after. Anyway, he's asked a question, and he's asked in Italian. And the question in Italian translates to, what does Captain America mean to you? Okay. And he responds with, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term America should be one of those representations. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Hilarious, considering this man has shown zero with this comment. What if the character's name was Captain Italy, and he sat there and told that Italian audience, I don't think the term Italy should be one of those representations. What do you think the Italian people would have done? How do you think the Italian people would have reacted? I don't think they would have taken that well. This is shameful. This is absolutely shameful behavior. And, as always, I wanted to make sure I had this 100%. I don't want to misrepresent anyone or take something out of context. But there is no way to take this out of context. Other things he has said about this. And we're going to watch the clip here in a second. I just want to put this all out there. He said, when Anthony Mackie talks about what it means to be playing a Black Captain America, he says, I feel like it's just as important for Black kids to see Black Captain America as it is for white kids. Sure. Growing up, one of my favorite superheroes was Green. It wasn't about race or anything. It was about him being a good guy and trying to do the right thing. It's very important for kids of all races to be able to watch something and have something to look up to no matter what they look like, and see that package comes with a good human being as opposed to what they've been perceived by as everyone else. Okay. Okay. But how do we get from here to this clip that we are now going to watch? This is unbelievably disappointing. This, just as an American citizen, just sad. Just sad. Here we go.
A lot of people might not know, my first movie was this little movie called 8 Mile. And if you want to feel old, that was 24 years ago.
I agree.
Right. So this isn't my first ball. So it's been an amazing ride, a wild ride. And when I came into the MCU 11 years ago, and I never saw this coming. I never thought that this was a possibility. So it's kind of like a dream come true. I grew up watching Superman, and Batman. Like Michael Keaton is my Batman. So to be a group of kids, Captain America is something that is really, really amazing.
So she asks,
per te oggi come supereroe Captain America?
what does Captain America mean to you? What does it represent for you?
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like,
what? He doesn't, he says it and moves right on. It's like the shit Grace Randolph does. He's only saying what he thinks other people want to hear. He's in another country and he thinks the rest of the world just hates Americans. So he's going to sit there and bash his home, and not just bash his home. He's going to bash a beloved legacy character. I know what you're thinking. Well, what does he say after, Danny? Does it clear it up? Does it make it any better? The answer is no.
Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity.
You don't say. Dignity and integrity. Okay.
Someone who is trustworthy and dependable.
Oh, yeah?
It's kind of, this is kind of like
Hello, timeline.
an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors.
Oh, good. We got to see my weekly analytics.
I want to get back to that day before someone told you.
Obviously, this was a screen record.
When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons.
So all he goes on to say, the rest of it is just him saying, remember when we believed that stuff on the screen was real? We want to bring back imagination. But Anthony, I want to go back to you dissing
to
America.
Princess in the Tower. That kid, a lot of people might not know, my first movie was this little movie called 8 Mile. And if you want to feel old, that was 24 years ago. Right.
I just don't.
This isn't my first.
I don't think there's a way to justify it, Backyard TARDIS. I just don't.
An amazing ride, a wild ride. And when I came into the MCU 11 years ago, and I never saw this coming. I never thought that this was a possibility. So it's kind of like a dream come true.
So here I'm gonna poop on it.
Superman.
In a second.
And Batman, like Michael Keaton is my Batman, So to be a group of kids, Captain America is something that is really, really amazing.
Cosa rappresenta per te oggi come supereroe Captain America?
Okay, but watch his face when he says America.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America.
Look at how he acts.
America.
It's contempt. It's contempt. He's trying to imply that America's not that great. I don't know if it's I don't know. If that's not what he meant, if he meant different words, then he should have said that. Because what he said was, I don't feel like it, one of those representations should be America. Then what did you mean? It's Captain America represents the American way of life, American values. And those values are integrity, dignity, the pursuit of happiness, no matter who you are, to be free to live your life the way that you see fit without government involvement, without fear of persecution. That's America. And that's what Captain America stands for. Exactly. Like Superman means a lot to kids in other countries. So maybe he wants that for Captain America. Then one of those representations is America, the American way of life. The American way of life that has made this man quite rich and famous, I might add. He would not have had the same opportunities in other countries. I can guarantee you that. You know, there's this speech that that Dave gives our daughter. Like, how lucky are you? How lucky are you to be born in the time and the place that you are, to be born in the United States in the time that you're born, to try and remind her that this is a great place. We have opportunities here that there are nowhere else in the world. Hello, Balanced by Reviews. That doesn't even sound like what he said. I think people are overanalyzing something that's not that deep. Well, let's listen to it again. Because what he flat out says is, I don't think one of those representations should be America.
Should be one of those representations. Wild ride. And when I came into the MCU 11 years ago, and I never saw this coming. I never thought that this was a possibility. So it's kind of like a dream come true. You know, I grew up watching Superman, you know, and Batman. Like Michael Keaton is my Batman, you know. So to be a group of kids, Captain America is something that is really, really amazing.
E cosa rappresenta per te oggi come
Does
supereroe
Captain America
Captain America?
represent to you?
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, you know, America should be one of those.
He doesn't say not only. He said, I don't think the term America should be one of those things. Then what's the character? If he's not Captain America, then what's the character? Because he's a character that represents our national pride of being an American, what being an American really means. We are the country that built itself. We are a nation of people who make impossible things happen every single day. You tell us we can't, by God, we're going to do it twice just to prove that we can. That is Captain America. He is meant to be a point of pride. So to say that America shouldn't be one of the things that he represents is either the most idiotic thing you could possibly say to any audience, just completely like unaware, or just hateful. Just hateful. There could be a difference between what comes out of his mouth and what he was thinking in his head. Based on other previous interviews, I don't feel that he's anti-American. Well, then he's stupid, is what it is. That's just really dumb. He shouldn't be speaking in public because it's really dumb. Silly Danny, don't you know you can only identify with a fictional character if they're exactly like you? Why do they keep telling me this? I need to get rid of that. It's on my last nerves. Nerves. If he's not Captain America, Captain Planet. Yeah, he's Captain America. You're literally representing America. So either you hate where you live and you hate that character, or you're just really stupid, because that was a really stupid thing to say. Again, had the character been Captain Italy and he said that to an Italian audience, how do you think they would have acted? Replace the name America with any other country on the planet and tell me there wouldn't be immediate outrage, immediate backlash. And if he meant it another way, he should be posting online somewhere like, guys, I meant to say exactly. There's been no cleanup. There's no apology, nothing. He said something really stupid. He bit the hand that fed him just to impress a foreign audience. But again, it's like okay to crap on America these days. It's okay to say bad things about America. So they just do it. But if you had said, well, I don't feel like Italy should be one of the things that represents, that Captain Italy represents, there would have been immediate backlash and outrage. Immediate. If he had said it about Captain Spain, Captain Britain, Captain Mexico, if he had said it about anyone else, any other country, immediate outrage, especially to that audience. Come over. If he had said that back home to a Midwestern audience, a Southern audience, any audience that isn't New York or LA, there would have been like, what did you just say? Who is the character you're playing then? Untamed Mando says they would have fired him immediately. It would have been racist. It would have been racist. It would have been bigoted. It would have been terrible. They would have gotten rid of him. And Creative Blue Collar Guy says, and talking about the kids slaying dragons and saving princesses, didn't Rachel Siegler say that's bad now? She did. Listen, I'm a powerful, strong, intelligent, independent woman. And you know what my fantasy is? Sleeping Beauty. Why? Because sometimes you just want the guy to do stuff. I'm tired. I would like to take a nap. You do stuff. I don't see anything wrong with that. In Falcon and Winter Soldier, he literally told people not to call the flag smashers terrorists. The new character does not represent USA by design. It certainly doesn't represent American values and what it means to be an American. I mean, think about it. Think about how this country was formed, the people that formed it and stayed here and reproduced and created us. We come from rebels. We come from fighters. We come from self-made people. How many other countries in the world are like the United States? None. None. We forged our own path with our own hands. I think that's something to be insanely proud of. Very proud of. Very, very proud of. That's what it means to be an American. To take your destiny and your future in your own hands. And I don't think at any point there's any excuse to poop on that, especially to a foreign audience. I mean, you are there representing America. You're an American citizen in a movie about Captain America. And you're going to sit there and say whether it was poor choice of words, which I would really like to know what the actual words should have been. But to sit there and say that you don't feel like America should be one of the things that Captain America represents, you should not have that shield. You should not have that shield. You don't represent me. Carlos, for a long while now, Mackie needs a marketing team, and he's out there just saying what he wants, but then keeps moving. He just doesn't care. His attitude reminds me of Brie Larson. God, just Tabitha. I suddenly feel I need to stand and sing God Bless America. Acapella. Acapella. Listen, I was an active duty Army wife for 15 years. Dave is a veteran. I see when you don't have the right words to articulate, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything, Anthony Mackie. But my point is, I come from, my grandfathers and uncles were Marines and soldiers and sailors. I am the child of immigrants. Like everyone in the United States is the child of immigrants, whether you're close to it or you've got a lot of distance from it. Okay. We all come from nothing. We all come from people who had to work their asses off in the dirt so that we didn't have to. And it really upsets me when someone poops on that. When someone says that we're just a terrible place and we shouldn't represent good things. We represent amazing things. You're just too dumb to see it. You're just too spoiled to see it. You have an embarrassment of riches and you can't see past it anymore. It's just a shame. Just a shame. Loki Jar said, that bit in All in the Family where Archie sings God Bless America and Rob Reiner's face? It's like that. It is. It is. The bigger problem is that there are a lot of people who agree with his statement. He's pandering. Like I said, it's Grace Randolph. Zero integrity. He's sitting here saying, he says that Captain America should represent dignity and integrity, yet he displays none. When his back is against the wall, he will fold. It's exactly what happened. That's not integrity. That's not dignity. That's the opposite. Can this movie afford to take any more bad PR hits? I really don't think it can. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Just an absolute shame. I'm so disappointed. I've always liked Anthony Mackie, and whether he meant this as an actual discredit and disrespectful statement to the nation that has birthed him and made him a very wealthy and famous man, or whether he was just too dumb to recognize what he was saying was horrible, I'm disappointed. Absolutely disappointed. He's not doing anyone any credit or favors. Period. That's just an absolute shame. Absolute shame. Any final comments? Emotional outbursts, questions, complaints? Go tell your mom because I ain't it. No, I'm kidding. Leave it in the comments below. Even Harrison Ford can't keep his hunk of junk from crashing and burning. Oh, Harrison Ford. What he goes on to say, what Anthony Mackie goes on to say on that panel after he talks about, wanting to get kids to believe in dragons and princesses again, is how much Harrison Ford loves Italian food to an Italian audience. Who doesn't love Italian food, Anthony? Everyone loves Italian food. That's not news. Yeah, it was pretty bad, Michael. It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad what he said. He's playing a character called Captain America, and he says that America shouldn't be one of the things that Captain America represents. That's pretty bad. Loud noises! I second what Doe said. Loud noises! There, we did it twice. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming by today. Woo, we went long today. Did not mean to do that. But I think you guys are the best audience in the entire world. every single day. It's been really awesome. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out the door. Make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, and you ring the notification bell whenever I'm back with even more nerdy stuff. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, that is so helpful, and you have no idea how much I appreciate it. It does cost money to keep this stuff running. So if you want to help out that way, you've got this QR code right here that will take to buymeacoffee.com/comicsandmua, and you can tip me as little or as much as you like. You can also use Cash App if that's your thing. You can use that. You can do the same thing. If you don't want to just throw money at me and you want to get something bright and shiny in return, you can check out my merch store at comicsandcosmetics.etsy.com. There are all kinds of designs inspired by all the nerdy things I love on that store. So definitely check that out. But there's also a Patreon. You can join the Nerdling Army officially and go to patreon.com/comicsand. You can join at one of three different tiers. The lowest is only $3 a month. And you can go all the way up to Nerdling Supreme. Each tier has its own specific design, like rank insignia in the Nerdling Army, and you get exclusive Patreon merch every 3 months for your first year as a member of the Nerdling Army. There's also access to the Nerdling Army chat. You get behind the scenes outtakes, questions. You can request breakdowns from me, and it's the only place where I will accept requests for videos. I'm a member of the Red 5 Network. We're a family of content creators and podcasters who solely talk about this nerdy stuff all the time. So if you would like to see more from the Red 5 Network, definitely check out red5.bio.link. Or I am sponsored by Apotheosis Comics and Lounge in South City, St. Louis, my hometown. It's a comic book bar. It's a comic book bar. It's a comic book store and a bar and an arcade, and it has apparel and collectibles. And if you don't live in or around the St. Louis area, no big deal. You can buy anything they have in store online at shopapotheosis.com/comicsand. And if you use code comicsand at checkout, you get 10% off your entire purchase. So get a subscription box for comic books. Tell them I said hey, and enjoy it all. But until then, I've been Danny. You've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you!